So iOS 18 just arrived, and already we're learning that the next big iOS update, iOS 19, is already facing delays for some of its most anticipated features, which, as is predictable, is sparking both outrage and excitement among Apple enthusiasts as they get a taste for what it is that's coming down the pipeline. If you were super happy with iOS 18, felt like it was a lot to chew on, you haven't even learned everything it can do yet, and you feel like Apple Intelligence, so-called, is enough to satiate you even while Apple delays quote-unquote Siri LLM until sometime in 2026, it sounds like. In other words, this Siri that would be like the ChatGPT conversational kind of Siri without outsourcing it to other companies, then maybe you're good to go. Maybe you're cool. You don't care if iOS 19 is delayed or not. But if I know you, and if you clicked on this video, then I know for sure, you're like me and you can't wait to figure out what might be coming up soon, then you're gonna be bummed that an actually enhanced Siri isn't gonna show up anytime soon, even though Apple just made a big deal about Apple Intelligence in iOS 18. But the thing is, here's what might be going on. This is just a guess. Apple seems to have dropped the ball when it came to the threat of AI, the want for AI that is AI that people are kind of starting to experience in a bunch of different areas that Apple seems to be really, really lagging behind on. Like super dropped the ball lagging behind, even though they've come out with something called Apple Intelligence, like this cognitive dissonance, because people experience LLMs elsewhere that are very conversational, like advanced voice mode. They can search the web, they can do all these things. And Apple's having to do these little deals with like ChatGPT and stuff, and maybe they'll let you plug in some other stuff, but is it on again, off again partnership? You never know what you're hearing in the news. But either way, it's not an Apple-based LLM. And that's coming later. I did a whole video on it, so you can check it out. But I think Apple is having to shelve some other stuff to probably try to catch up and refocus on delivering that experience that people really would have expected from this enormous company that should have a huge R&D department, right? And the budget to make this happen. So probably doing a bit of a refocus, which is frustrating because I think a lot of people felt like Apple promised some stuff that they're now having to wait, over a year to actually get an experience. And I could have this wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like more recently Apple has been saying, hey, this feature is coming soon, fall, whatever, summer, whatever. And then it ends up like being later than that in some cases. And sometimes it's not so black and white. Like sometimes they'll say, this version of iOS is coming later, whatever. But then like a lot of the features make it, but not all. It's kind of a piecemeal thing. But I feel like that's not something that Apple used to do as much, right? Like promise things and delay things as much. Do you feel like that? Are they just being extra cautious? Is that what it is? Are they waiting to do some other partnerships? Is that what it is? Now, beyond the delayed Siri LLM, the version of Siri that's like smarter, more conversational, we don't really have any details from the report that is surfacing saying what the other delayed features are at this point. And it may just not really matter because I think the conversational Siri is like the thing, the big thing that everybody wants that's being missed out on right now. So reading between the lines though, I think that maybe there's some disappointment out there floating around. Do you feel that? Do you feel it with yourself? Do you feel it as you look around the social media and stuff? Is there satisfaction with, what Apple has put out there on the software side of things? Or are people wanting more? The times that I've been to WWDC and seen some of the new software features get unveiled, which has been several times, I'm often struck by the production, these very sleek videos. The event itself is just, everything's ordered to a T, right? But I would trade off some of the shine at the event for like cooler actual features. You know what I mean? Not that I'm really complaining because I have made Apple like the central pillar of my digital work. Like I get a lot done. I'm very productive. And for the most part, I'm very happy. I got 4, 5, 6 iPhones around that I'm shooting, several iPads. The Macs are everywhere, Apple Screen, Apple Watch, Apple TV. It's not like I'm not buying Apple stuff because they're delaying some of their stuff a little bit here and there. But what I'm saying is the events are cool in the presentation. I like them. They're entertaining. But I'd be happy for Apple to take some of that budget and just do like a press release and not have to temporarily bridge so many gaps when things came out. Like instead of making things seem super exciting as much as you can, like hyping it up as much as you can, but then it's really just what's been on the market is kind of expected, is par for the course. Like rewriting texts and emails and stuff. And kind of the commercials were a little bit lame, I feel like. Pour some of that energy, that creative energy, that gets put into the production of the events and the videos and stuff, pour that into making the AI or whatever shine. Ultimately, like in the future, with the pace of AI development, you could make the argument that things like, the Mac, the iPhone, everything is going to be less important as, things progress, and, the operating system, apps, all this stuff might sort of evaporate for consumers, and you might be left with just like AI in the future. Like, this is so important that Apple needs to actually nail it, um, to be relevant, I think, in the next decade or two. Now, I did make a video on what I thought was my favorite Apple Intelligence feature so far. I'm curious what you think that is for you, but priority notifications are actually pretty cool. That's pretty useful. I like that. I like the focus mode, being able to reduce distractions, with a smart filter there based on what it thinks I want to have breakthrough. So iOS 19 delays, basically Siri delays. Give me your thoughts on it. What do you want to see happen? What would be the dream scenario for you? Do you not even care? I know a lot of people don't get into Apple stuff so deeply like a lot of us do, where it's more like a hobby. Like they're just buying something to get on and surf around and watch some content or whatever. I get that. If that's you too, leave me a comment as well. But give me a wish list though, beyond Siri stuff. What do you want to see come to future iOS versions? Any of Apple stuff, Mac OS, iOS, iPad OS. Let's talk about it. Tell me what you want. We'll make a whole video about it if we get some good comments.